Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Houston Sports Head back in the video today, and today we're going to be talking about the Detroit Pistons and the Philadelphia 76ers potentially making a trade. We're going to be talking about Bojan Bogdanović potentially being traded to the Philadelphia 76ers. It's been reported by Bleacher Report that the 76ers are interested in Bojan Bogdanović and Buddy Hield and would like to acquire one of those guards. And not only that, but it was also reported today that the 76ers will be very active on the trade deadline and are expected to make 1 to 3 trades. We've seen 0 from them so far. So could this be one of the trades they make? Bojan Bogdanović is having a good season for the Pistons this year. I know it's the Pistons, but still has been really good, averaging 33 minutes per game with 28 games and 27 starts, 20.2 points per game, 2.5 assists per game, and 3.4 rebounds per game. He's a really good three-point shooter. He's shooting 41.5%, which is the highest in his career since the 2018-19 season with the Indiana Pacers. And I think a trade for Bojan Bogdanović, I think, would be tricky because the Pistons want first-round picks, and I feel like I'm 98% sure that what the Pistons might want in this trade for Bojan Bogdanović very well could be Tobias Harris. We heard from Bleacher Report or Bleacher Report sources the other day that the Pistons are targeting Tobias Harris on at tomorrow's Thursday trade deadline, and very well the Pistons are interested in reuniting with Tobias Harris, and very well maybe could be to the point where Detroit wants Tobias Harris for Bojan Bogdanović. Here's the trade I have put together to send Bojan Bogdanović to the 76ers. The 76ers would receive Bojan Bogdanović, who is averaging 20.2 points per game, with Joe Harris and a second-round pick in 2030. Second-round pick that the Pistons actually just received today from the Timberwolves. Joe Harris this season has been solid, just has not been playing a lot. Like this trade for the 76ers, they would improve on three-point shooting for sure. Harris has only played 15 games this season, but if you look at last season where Brooklyn played 74, but is a great three-point shooter. His career three-point percentage is 43.6% this season. He is shooting a 34.5%, which is the lowest in his career since his second season with Cleveland in the 2015-16 season. And for anybody's knowledge, in the 2015-16 season, Joe Harris only played 5 games, and in those 5 games, he only averaged 3 minutes per game and didn't take a lot of threes. So I think he took like 4 threes in that season. That's why he shot 25%. And made 1, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I think that Joe Harris, if he's back to the player he's been with Brooklyn, averaged 8 points per game last year with Brooklyn. Great 3-point shooting. 2021-22 season with Brooklyn, 11 points per game. 2020-21 season with Brooklyn, 14.1 points per game. I just think Detroit has been a bad place for him because the veterans has just not really been, Detroit has just not really been playing their veteran players. Monte Morris has only played 6 games this season. You just saw him get traded to the Timberwolves today. Joe Harris has really not played at all. Bogdanović is really the only veteran on this team for Detroit that has actually gotten some good playing time. But for Tobias Harris, I think it'd be Tobias Harris to Detroit for Joe Harris, Bojan Bogdanović, and a 2030 second-round pick. I think that would be the deal that Detroit would offer. Detroit would offer for Detroit would offer to Philadelphia for Bogdanović. Let's go over to Tobias Harris's stats. Tobias Harris this season with Philadelphia has played 45 games with 45 starts with 34 minutes per game. He's averaging 18 points per game with 3.3 assists per game with 6 rebounds per game, averaging 1 steal per game. His three-point percentage this season has been 35%, which is another guy that's shooting a career, or not a career low, but a low. That's the 34.8% from 3 for Harris is the lowest in his career since the 2016-17 season. Ironically, with the Detroit Pistons, shot 34.7%, and that's just a difference by 0.1. So he hasn't shot that low from three since the 34.7% with Detroit in the 16-17 season, which was only a difference by 0.1%. So this is a little bit of a low for him from three this year, but still near 35% is still good from three, and he's been good. He spent 3 seasons with Detroit and very well could end up back in Detroit. But for Bogdanović, I think this would be a good trade for the 76ers to acquire Bogdanović, just because of the fact that Tobias Harris is a great player, and I think he, for the meantime while Joel is out, is a great, second option for Tyrese Maxey. But he's an expiring contract, and I really don't see the 76ers retaining him. I really see him, out in Philadelphia after this summer. I see him signing with a new team. I don't know if that's the Pistons. I think the Pistons have a solid shot with the money they have if they trade for him. Maybe he decides he wants to stay in Detroit, but I don't think he'll return to Philadelphia. I don't think Philadelphia really has the money to give him. And I think there are going to be a lot of teams that will be shopping after him. Sacramento, maybe the Pacers. There are going to be a lot of teams that you've heard, mentioned in potential trades for him that will be interested in free agency. The Dallas Mavericks, maybe even possibly. That's another team that has some good money going into free agency next summer. But for trading a guy who's the most likely going to leave in the summer could help you down the rest of the road of the season and maybe in the playoffs. Unless hopefully Philadelphia doesn't go downhill, but I'm going to say maybe in the playoffs. But Tobias definitely can do that. But instead, you're getting a guy like Bojan Bogdanović, who will be available for you in the 2024-25 season. He has another year left on his deal after this season, so it's not like Bogdanović is a rental. You will have him for another season after this season. And then another guy like Joe Harris, I know he's an expiring contract, so it's not like you're going to have him for the 24-25 season. But he is a good three-point shooter and would be a good help for Philadelphia throughout the rest of the season. And then you also get an extra draft pick with a 2030 second-round pick. So I really don't know. I think it'd be a solid trade for both teams, but we'll see if a Bogdanović-Tobias Harris swap happens. We'll see. Let me know your thoughts on the potential trade in the comment section, and peace out.